This is Fantology.
You may have heard of us.
All right, what's up, citizens of Corporation Rim? This is Steven, your host with Fantology Podcast. I have my lifelong friend Jake on, and we're talking about Murderbot Season 1, second half, so episodes 6 through 10. We did a 1 through 5 review, last month or so, and it's all
Yeah.
wrapped. And let's get some final thoughts.
Yeah. I felt like it ended pretty strongly. It felt like a pretty consistent quality throughout. I think they're able to give the ending of the show a little more like the resolution, a little more strength and tie-in and than the book has. The book kind of just wraps up and it's left very like much more mysterious in terms of what would happen next. You still get some of
Mhm.
that in this, but I think they added more character development to that I thought were some good changes.
Yeah, they used, I think the last episode is definitely the biggest change for me
Hmm.
from the book. But I think they used it really well. Like they were able to, it felt different in that all of a sudden, kind of in a newer set. I mean, we've been in wherever that location was, like the Corporation Rim Station, wherever they were out there. There was probably a name, I don't remember where it was. But it felt different than the planet set. Gosh, I'm not gonna remember any names. But
Rathen,
it
no,
really worked to like give a lot of the characters a satisfying arc for the season. I guess mostly like Murderbot and Garathan were probably the two that had an arc to them. But it carried a lot of the emotional weight of the show really well and tied up things in a nice way that you don't get as much in the book, like you said.
yeah. And I think that's just kind of the difference between a short story that I assume she always had plans to write more, but it's very self-contained and this season was pretty self-contained too, but I think it added a little more continuity there. I will say I think I enjoyed reading the book more than watching the season, just because the book felt so much more like fast-paced and focused and
Mm,
everything. At first I think I liked how the show was expanding more of that, but I do think maybe it dragged a bit and could have been, I don't know. It's hard because they're already such short episodes anyways. And like we
yeah.
mentioned that last time, like is that the reason why it felt like it was dragging a bit? Because you had so many start and stops. I don't know, but I think it could have
It's,
been
it's
tighter in its plotting.
super interesting here where we had the opposite problem that most epic fantasy adaptations have, in that we're actually taking, I don't know how long the audiobook was. I'm gonna guess the audiobook was roughly the same length as the runtime of the show. Like if you press play on the audiobook and you press play on season one, episode one, which one would finish first? I feel like they're gonna be pretty close. And maybe even like expanded upon in the show. That's such an opposite problem from every other fantasy sci-fi, not every other, but most other fantasy sci-fi adaptations where we're taking pages and pages and pages and smashing it down into a movie or a season of a show.
Yeah, so the audiobook is 3 hours and 17 minutes long. And on average, I'd say the is it like 20, 25 minutes long for each episode?
I want to
There's
say
10 of them.
25, 20,
So,
25, 10
so
minute,
that's
yeah.
getting us probably like 3.75-ish hours. So pretty close.
200, no, more, 250 minutes. So we're at
250, 4 hours.
4 hours, 10 minutes. What'd you say the
Yeah.
runtime of the audiobook was?
3 hours, 17.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the show is longer than the book.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
interesting. There's
Although
more like,
the
and we talked about there's more humor to it. I hope for season two they make it a little more fast paced and tighter.
hmm.
I don't know what the constraints are with uh you know releasing episodes and however that goes, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Apple almost always does the 10 episodes, so I feel like they're, Honestly, it just kind of feels like they did 10 episodes just because it was going on Apple Plus, and they
Yeah.
do 10 episodes on that platform. If this was Prime or Netflix, it would be eight. Like, is there any other reason why? I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I we've talked about in the last episode how I think I would enjoy it more if it were like a handful of hour-long episodes, but there has to be a business reason for the 10 episode drop. You know, it gets people to stay on longer on the streaming service, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that can be a motivation behind storytelling.
Hmm.
Um, but like, I think personally for me, if this were, what do we come to, like 4 hours? If it was just 4 hour long episodes, kind of like a mini series, I think I would enjoy that.
Mm.
But then what I like, we've talked about this a lot recently with like The Last of Us. Like, if you had to wait 2 years for 10 more episodes versus 2 years for four more episodes, given the same runtime, I think people would be more upset at the 2 years for 4 hour long episodes.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get into the human psychology in order to sell your
Yeah.
streaming service, unfortunately, and sometimes that's a detriment to the artistic side of the storytelling.
Yeah. And I just, I don't know why this came to mind. I was thinking of how the 30 minutes, maybe they're trying to mirror like the soap opera-y feel of like, I almost
Of
said Sailor
Sanctuary Moon.
Moon, Sanctuary
You,
Moon.
you're thinking that
Um,
Sanctuary Moon episodes are also a 30-minute installment?
Actually, soaps, aren't they more like an hour long? I don't know. I don't have a great context there,
Mm.
but that got me. I was thinking about that, maybe that connection. I just remembered how the captain just gets decapitated so like out of nowhere. It had me honestly for a second like, wait, that can happen. Like, what's gonna happen in the rest of Sanctuary Moon if that guy's just
Oh, they
decapitated?
no, they bring him back as a android, or he's got a twin brother.
Yeah,
There's all
yeah,
kinds of things they can do.
yeah. Did you ever watch Jane the Virgin?
Yeah,
So
yeah. On your recommendation, I followed
yeah.
through on that one. I like that show. Yeah,
That's really fun. Really fun way to spoof the soap
yeah. The
opera genre.
telenovelas.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
my
Nailed it.
yeah, my Spanish accent is awful. Yeah. So should we speculate on a season two plan then? I mean, without doing like spoilers for the books, I think they're gonna have to change things going forward. Like, first of all, I was surprised that they only did All Systems Red, the first novella, in one season, but they did. But I don't see that happening for
You think
book
they'll
two.
start combining?
They're gonna have to do it different somehow for and the reason why is I mean, light spoilers for the book, but Murderbot kind of goes off on its own thing and leaves behind most of the Preservation Alliance, or actually like all of them, if I remember right. No, it's very much a different thing, and you can't just do that on your TV show. Like, you can't just drop the entire cast and then expect them to be back for future
Yeah.
seasons. You have to have like a through line on who you're casting.
Is it just one or are there two stories without them?
Mm, yeah, you're testing my memory too
I think there
much.
were two. I think there are two. The next one they're definitely
Yeah,
going
I
to
think you're
tell the
right.
so at least two stories, so which I think strengthens your argument even more. Going two whole seasons, which is like what, 3 or 4
Hmm.
years in development time. I would say I would say even if they don't start combining things, they're gonna do like A plot, B plot, at the very least. Of A plot
Hmm.
is like the Murderbot storyline, B plot is more um preservation stuff. I I think they're for sure doing the transport story. They set it up at the last episode, like for sure, but they also set it up earlier when he was like, yeah, transport bots have these in them as well, with this like the spinal cord or whatever. So I think they're doing that story for sure. But that's also a story that could do really well as like a flashback sequence almost. So um you could have a different because there's another one the one after that, again, not trying to get into spoilers, is more action packed, and so you could have that be the main focus. So maybe book two being like the flashbacks and
Mm,
some, I don't know, maybe shove in some preservation stuff while you're at it.
yeah, I think it gets more challenging for the showrunners. I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice to follow a script, and the books having already been written are a nice script, but this is where the adaptation becomes challenging. At least they got one solid season that follows the books like really well. I mean, more so than most adaptations do. So that's there, it's established, and then hopefully, we can build off of that. I think it's a solid start, at least. But I wonder like what the long-term plans are because I mean, I
Yeah.
also wonder what the long-term plans are for the Murderbot like written stories.
Series. Yeah. I think maybe at this point they try to get to I don't know. Like, do you want to get to the latest book as soon as possible, even knowing like then you have to wait for more story from the writer, or do you just
Yeah.
decide to take it much more season at a time?
You could probably do 3 seasons, have season three be a series finale, and the series finale kind of closes out that first conflict. There's like, I mean, in the written stories, there's kind of the close of that main first conflict, and then it just kind of continues. So you could just like end the TV show there,
Yeah, yeah, I could just end it. Yeah.
trying to like talk around specific plot beats, but yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but just focus on like the Gray Chris stuff.
yeah,
Like let that be
yeah.
the
That's
um
what I'm thinking. I mean, they have the Alien Remnant stuff as well, but it was just it was only a plot device
that's
in
where I
season one.
yeah, and that's where I'd like the book series to focus more as well, is on that. Um, but I think that's another thing that is kind of up in the air how much they really will or not. I as
Hmm.
a as someone who enjoyed the books, I'm not very like hard and fast with the plot lines as much as I would for other books I enjoyed. So as long as they hit like some of the characters really well, introduce specific characters that I enjoyed and have them play the roles they need to play, I think I'd be satisfied with however they adapt the storyline itself.
Mm.
But
In our first review, some of our discussion centered around your satisfaction with the like the the commentary on humanity and Murderbot as a person and like that whole thematic element of the
hmm
books, which is one of the stronger selling points of the books, with really interesting discussions to be had there, and we have had them in our reviews of the books. How do you feel season one of the TV show delivered? Because I was thinking that they may not even like get there or at least have just like a little bit of something, but you wanted more.
yeah, I do think I still wanted more. Like they definitely hit on it a bit, but it was more in a humorous way and less as like really thoughtful and philosophical as I'd like it to be. They still have time to explore that more for sure, especially now with Murderbot going off on their own. But
I think there's room to read
yeah,
into it as a viewer from it wasn't there weren't any, real long on the nose discussions about the theme. But I mean, if you think about like Murderbot's arc from beginning to end in that season, and then that final episode, and so the conversation with Garathan and him saying, or Murderbot, it's saying that despite Mensa, their favorite human being there, it was going to take off on its own, and that like half smile. that it had in the final shot. Like I think you could kind of read between the lines and see, get a lot of what it's going for, but it's not like right there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, the themes are there. They're just not as focused on, but they're still there for sure.
Hmm. I guess there's room in future stories to touch on this more, especially with other artificial intelligences that are introduced. There's more focus on this like elements of what is humanity and what does it take to be a person and how do we define this? Like they could probably focus the plot much more around that. And in season one here, I mean, what would you say the plot was focused on? Just the goofy adventures of Preservation Alliance?
I think it was more the relationships were the focus, just like it seemed like that was the angle they were going for when it comes to personhood, was more like uh how the preservation people's relationships were um, amongst themselves, and then how they viewed Murderbot versus how he viewed it, or they viewed themselves and everything else. So I think that was more the focus, whereas like the plot itself was just a device to have these things unfold. And so there was less introspection on their part, Murderbot's part, and more just people referring to them, which I think led to more comedic moments, which were fun. And that's kind of the tone most of the show went for. Um, but yeah, I agree. I really like how they seem to focus on the similarities and like contrasting, comparing Garathan and Murderbot throughout the whole season. First, like setting
Mm,
up like this distrust between them because Garathan doesn't trust him and Murderbot has a lot to hide. But then at the end, not only Grathan coming around, but also like when they interface with each other and Grathan taking on the personality, like I think that was focusing on like what really is the difference between an augmented human and a sec unit or whatever, like a unit.
hmm.
And so I agree. I think they still have a lot of time to focus on that, especially with other AI characters, like you said.
Yeah.
So
And good news, Ryan may join us. We'll get his take in a minute when he hops on
okay.
here. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
A good
Yep.
way to a little capstone for this.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Garathan arc, that from what I remember, I don't really remember Garathan being like built out as a character hardly at all
No.
in the story.
No, not nearly as much. And I think they did a good job with that. And I can't remember his name, but he's a really good actor. I think he nailed that role as well of
Yeah.
being like kind of kind of like a brooding outcast, like
Super
a,
emo.
yeah, I was gonna say emo, but not yeah, definitely emo, for sure. Not in like the angsty way, but the very like distrustful way.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan is coming on. Any second now. We're about to oh, coming in hot. Ryan, we're ready for you to drop a hot take on us about Murderbot right away.
Well, my hot take was I really wanted to like Bill Skarsgård as Murderbot,
You mean
but
Alexander?
Alexander, is that his name? Alexander
Yeah.
Skarsgård. Um, I really wanted to like him, but I just couldn't really connect with him. I don't know if it was the writing or the acting, but
Mm,
I didn't love him as Murderbot. And I feel like
Hmm.
that is essential to the series because, I mean, so I've only read the first Murderbot, and my opinion on the book was that the story was kind of all right, mediocre, maybe a little forgettable. It was mainly carried by, being in Murderbot's head and
right.
Murderbot as the character. And so I was a little disappointed by the TV show in that regard.
We is there a chance that he was too hot to be Murderbot? Jake and I discussed
Yes,
this in the
he's
last
he's too
episode. Yeah.
hot, and I was very disappointed by the fact that he has no genitals.
But he was a Ken doll. I just rewatched the movie Barbarian, that stars his brother in it. Wait, no, this wasn't Alexander Skarsgård. Alexander Skarsgård is it, right?
Did I get him wrong? I thought it was Alexander.
I think Alexander Skarsgård is it, who's
No,
also in
Bill
No,
Barbarian.
no, 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 no,
Skarsgård,
no,
Bill
no.
Skarsgård is it,
What? Are you kidding this whole time?
and
Okay,
Alexander
anyways.
Skarsgård is the one in
Okay.
this show.
Well, I just watched Barbarian with Bill Skarsgård, I guess, and I was thinking they don't look very similar. And I was thinking if he looked more like his brother, then I think that'd have been more distracting, because I'd be thinking about it the whole time. But I thought he did a good
Hmm.
job. He was a little older than I imagined, Sec Unit to be, but I don't know. I wish he had his face covered more. I think we talked about this in the first review. I think it's just kind of the nature of
Yeah.
acting where they like to show the faces. But I'm like, realistically, that face has got to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. I think the story makes more sense if and maybe comes across less maybe the line between human and robot is more on your mind if the face is not there as often.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think they had a similar issue with The Mandalorian, right? Where,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, Pedro Pascal wanted to show his face more, like I think receive some, I, I don't know, credit for his role, or I could be wrong. There was some desire for him to show his face more, and some people were like, no, you need to
Hmm.
kind of be anonymous as the Mandalorian. I don't know. I only watched the first season of that show, so
Remember the scene from Cheaper by the Dozen when Ashton Kutcher's character is getting his face like attacked by a dog or something, and he's like, "No, this is the money maker. Like you can't," because he's an actor in the show as well in the movie. Yeah, maybe you don't remember.
it's been a
It's
long
been
time since I've seen
yeah,
Cheaper by the
it's been a while.
Dozen.
Yeah.
It's one of
I
the
don't
movies
forget.
that my family owned when I watched several times as a child.
I saw
But I
it
think
one time.
that's the principle is
Yeah.
for these actors and actresses the face makes money, so the face has got to be shown.
Yeah, but imagine for all those stunt double slash voice actors, people who are stunt doubles and voice actors, like these are the roles they're born to do, you know?
Yeah, but they don't get those roles.
I know. I was watching a podcast with Lamorne Morris. Lamorne I don't know his last name. I'm spacing. Winston from New Girl, he has a podcast and he had a voice actor on his podcast, and they're talking about how they get annoyed when big name actors get voice roles because it's like, hey, like stay in your lane. Like these voice roles pay, like we have to do like three times as much voice work to get paid half as much as an actor. So quit encroaching on our work. So I wonder how many people, or I wonder if this is like a similar ordeal, but
Hmm. Lamorne Morris. You had it right.
is it, did I? It sounded off when I said it. I have a canker sore on my tongue, and so I feel like
Oh.
I can't just speak at all. So
Hmm. Kind of like how Charlie Cox is stealing roles in award-winning Expedition 33.
yeah, well they mentioned that honestly because the voice actor does video game work. So they
Hmm.
mentioned that specifically.
Oh, that exact example was used. Nice.
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah. I don't know, my camera keeps unfocusing.
Okay, Ryan, what other impressions? So you've only read the first book. That's interesting. And that's probably good that you came on now. We did a little bit of speculation on what could happen after season season one, season two. We are renewed for season two, and it sounds like they may have to. We're speculating they may have to shuffle things around a little bit. But through one book, you thought the story was just kind of okay, which I think is a totally fair take. I think it takes a few stories to really kind of like find its bearing, and the plot is never really all that strong. It's just kind of like I mean, the character of Murderbot and the themes of these classical AI or sci-fi themes of AI and humanity and personhood, like that's what really kind of carries the series quite a bit. Did you, and is that what you connected with in the book at least? Because it sounds like you liked the book enough to at least watch the show.
I liked Murderbot as the character in the book. I liked being inside his or their head. I'm not sure if Murderbot identifies as one gender or another. I forget. But
Gender neutral.
gender neutral. I liked being inside their mind. And I liked their, awkward interactions with humans. And I felt their personality was kind of endearing as a reader. And um, so I think maybe I was a little disappointed, like I said earlier, in, the depiction of by Skarsgård of Murderbot. And maybe that was just all around, like, I didn't really like Sec Unit's armor in the TV show either. It looked like a little cheap to me and not like it
Yeah.
looked like a costume. It didn't really look like I don't know, like a body armor that a Sec Unit might wear.
Are you talking about murder bots or like the newer sec units or both?
Murderbot. I mean, I guess I'm just calling him Sec Unit because they call him that in the show a lot.
Right. I mean, his is
Yeah.
supposed to be cheap, like beat up old model, right?
But
Yeah,
it doesn't look like cheap and beat up. It looks more like
Power
jumpsuit. A
Ranger.
yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Power Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
I mean, I don't want to speak too negatively on the show. I thought it was entertaining as a whole, but I wasn't dying to see it every week as it came out. I was kind of like, oh, Murderbot, the new Murderbot's out. I don't have anything to do. I'll watch it, rather than like when you really get sucked into a TV show and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's only Tuesday and I want that show. I want it to be Friday so I can watch this show.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Like I totally forgot about it until I was like, oh wait, it's gonna be coming out pretty soon. And we were gonna do a second half review. So
Hmm.
um I think for me I'd probably give it like a light 7 out of 10. I
Light
don't know.
meaning like 7.000.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
trying
think
to
I
be
would
more
give it.
critical. I'd probably go
I,
6.5.
Okay, I'll go 6.5. I thought that was a little harsh, but
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go
okay.
6 out of 10.
Okay. I'll go
Yeah.
6.5.
Um, and and I think I had similar feelings with the Wheel of Time TV first season of the TV show, and just basically like I was watching it. I thought it was like entertaining because I had read the source material, and but if I hadn't read the source material, I don't think I would really have a strong desire to watch or finish the show.
That's interesting to me because I'm trying to remember what I rated season one of the Wheel of Time. I think I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I thought it was a lot worse overall than Murderbot. But it's
But now
different
that we're
because
being harsher, do you want to go back and retcon
I don't
your
know.
rating? Lower it down
I
to like
don't I
four out
don't
of
think I
10?
could. No, not a 4 out of 10. I think the way I do it is like five is as low as you can go for something that you enjoy at all. And then I think like anything below that is like how much it bugged you.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know how to do a ranking very well, but
So you're
yeah.
saying 5 for you, you don't really have strong positive or negative feelings about a show.
Five is
And
like I wouldn't care to watch this again. Um and then
okay.
like four is like I'm like getting more and more offended that I ever watched it. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. And like the Wheel of Time definitely offended me in a lot of ways. But at the same time, there were some good moments, and it's also hard to compare because they swung so hard for certain things, and in my opinion, failed a lot of the time. But Murderbot doesn't feel like someone who's swinging hard. Like it's more bland, I'd say overall.
Mm.
But I think I enjoyed it still more than Wheel of Time, a TV show.
I mean, does it seem like a safer bet in general to
Yeah.
adapt like a novella than, a 14 book fantasy epic?
Yes.
Yeah. Steve and I were talking
Yes,
earlier
definitely.
that the TV show is probably around 4 hours long total, and the audiobook was 3 hours and 17 minutes long. So, like, it's almost 1 to 1 in terms of
Hmm.
time. So,
So, how do we get to a 10 out of 10 Murderbot TV show? Like, what are we missing?
I think the pacing just need to be better for me. It just was a little slow.
And I mean, to me, that sounds like what you're saying is fewer episodes or more than one book, or we got to cobble this together because they covered all the events of the book in the season as they
Yeah.
as they intended to, but
More,
it
they
Do you
was
think
spent
slow.
more time, yeah, than
do you think
needed.
it would help with the pacing if they had halved the amount of episodes and doubled the episode length?
Yeah, I personally, we talked about this earlier. That would be
Okay.
my preference for sure. Because I think you get a more compelling episodes, like because it's a longer block. Um, I that's my take on it. Um, I think also more of a focus on the mystery. You have two mysteries right now, like why did Murderbot murder people, and the whole Gray Chris slash alien artifact stuff. And then like if they really lean into that, and then also like the philosophical stuff are going to be a little less fast paced in general, but I think that can make it more compelling to watch.
Hmm.
I thought that the supporting cast was also a little weak. I liked Dr. Mensa and Dr. Garathan, but the rest of the people like Rati and Pinley and um, I don't really remember.
Arata and
Grothin was good.
Bard Watch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think Mensa and Grathan, Dr. Grathan were kind of the highlight of the supporting cast, and the rest were forgettable for me. So I think you improved the cast. I think better writing, um, showing a a better costume for Sec Unit, looks a little bit more real, and I don't know how if it was, you know. Not Bill, Alexander Skarsgård's depiction or the writing, like I said earlier, but
Hmm.
I wasn't in love
So,
with the character like I was in the book.
so with the side characters, there's a lot more to the side characters in the show than there was in the book. I don't really think the book did a very good job with the side characters either. I mean, it just didn't really care to spend any time fleshing them out. So, but even with the additional time, yeah, some are definitely fairly forgettable.
And I mean, to be fair, the book definitely wasn't a 10 out of 10 book for me. I would maybe put the
Yeah.
book at 6.5 or 7 out of 10. So I
Yeah.
think it's probably a series that gets better as you move on. I think
Hmm.
it's a little hard to um, get into, like a full-blown conflict and getting to know
Hmm.
all the characters in, 3.5, 4 hours or however long the audiobook is.
All right, let's
Yeah.
close out with character some character power rankings. How do you mentioned the side characters are kind of weak, so we kind of already kind of already covered this, but how would you rank our six preservation alliance plus Murderbot? So you got seven characters. Like, who are we putting at the top? I get Murderbot at the top, or Ryan didn't really like Murderbot, so
I think I would put
does
Mensa at
Murderbot?
the top.
Okay, Mensa, number one.
I
Do
mean,
Garath then.
I think yeah, I agree that I think Garathan was the best character in the show, which is which is surprising because how much of a non-important character he is in the book. I mean, he's just as important as any other character, but he actually has an arc. I thought that that acting job was really good, and there was a lot there to the character.
I
Yeah.
almost think he would play a better Murderbot. I think for me, it's Mensa, Dr. Grath, and then Murderbot, and then the rest are kind of I don't really have strong enough feelings to rank them after that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think for me it's Garathan, then Murderbot, and then I don't really care.
So you didn't like Mensa?
Linsa was fine, but like I don't feel like I ever, I don't know, similar to the books, like you don't really get a sense of like what are her like flaws and strengths and like you know what I mean? Like she's very much like a supporting character who's there, and I don't outside of her support role, I don't really think she serves much of a purpose.
Hmm.
The
Did you
actress, I
know?
mean, go ahead.
Did you know the actress is the one that played Hermione on in the Cursed Child, like the original Cursed Child cast?
I know nothing about the Cursed Child production.
Yeah. I went to
The
this
actress who
thing.
played Mensa?
Yeah, she played Hermione in the Cursed Child. I went to
Like the
this little
voice
like Harry
actress?
Potter expo nearby.
No, the play.
Like yeah, the play.
Oh.
And anyway, they had some stuff from the play and her picture was there. Like in Hermione's costume. I was like, the heck is Mensa doing here at Hogwarts? It's kind of a weird clash of worlds, but
It's funny.
yeah. I interrupted you, but yeah, I thought she did a pretty good job. I would say Garathan, then Murderbot, then Mensa, and then I liked Rati. I thought Rati was funny. I mean, other than being funny, his character didn't really do anything, but I thought he made me laugh a few times. So
There were some funny moments. It was pretty, I don't know. But it wasn't, he didn't feel like a character as much as like punchlines would come out, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought he had funny moments, but that was like he was just there for like comedic relief.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But the other three, the other three, Arata, Pinley, and Borrowed Watch, like they didn't really give me much of anything. So Rati, with some laughs, at least is above those three.
I did like the Sanctuary Moon parts of that
Yeah.
of the show. I thought those
Yeah.
were just kind of
So we're yeah.
hilarious um little, scenes, and I really liked how Murderbot related to that or brought it in, and
Mhm.
so that was a little bright part of the show for me.
Yeah. I like those.
Yeah, they were over the top, spoofy humor and like in just the right way. And then it also brought in some humor where they, were discussing Sanctuary Moon every now and then. And then it also became a little bit of a plot point at the in the final episode is like as to how they tracked down where Murderbot was at. So yeah, I thought there were a lot of good things. A lot of good things in the show, but just needed like a little more. Maybe a little too bland, pacing a little slow, stuff that could maybe be improved upon, but I don't know. To some degree, it might just be, it's kind of a challenging story to adapt into a 10 out of 10 TV show.
So from what I hear with the Murderbot series as a whole, the book series, it gets better as the books go on, right? So I mean, it might make
Yeah, I
sense.
think in a lot of ways. For me, it's like it gets better and then it gets like really good. There's a full-length novel that I think is the best of the written murder bots. And then there's a couple more after that that I didn't think were quite as good. So it gets like good, 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 like really good, and then kind of like, yeah, this is okay.
And is the series continuing? Is Martha Wells writing more books in it?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. There was like a really short story that was supposed to be released alongside the season finale on Tor's website
Oh, really?
that I forgot about until just now. So I should go read that.
Dang. Definitely should have done that in our episode prep.
Whoops.
Ah. Oh well.
We'll just
All
go back
right.
to watching our episodes of Sh Sanctuary Moon.
Our hundreds of episodes. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing at Phantology, you can join our Discord and chat with us and let us know your thoughts on Murderbot or many other sci-fi, science fiction titles, adaptations, whatever. We've covered a lot of stuff at this point. I think this is going to be episode 360. So if you really want to get into Phantology, there's almost enough for you to binge an episode every single day of the year. It's kind of fun and also
Wow.
like frightening to think about.
Yeah, we're seasoned veterans at this point. Trust everything we say.
Yes. Yep.
We know fantasy and science fiction like the back of our hands.
That we do. Well, Ryan, Jake, thanks for joining. Members of what did we introduce this with? Corporation Rim, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck to those indentured servants of Corporation Rim. Maybe consider joining Preservation Alliance. Yeah, they can talk about they can talk about this. That's their
Steven's our
catchphrase.
planetary admin.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, what is the catchphrase of
I think it's we can talk about this, right? Yeah, y'all hold hands and yeah, that's the
Yeah.
mantra.
Wait, did they do that?
boldness is
Okay.
all?
Oh, boldness is all. That's the Sanctuary Moon one, yeah.
All right, Steven, send us off with that.
Boldness is all.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, I should be a voice actor.
Yeah.
All right,
I,
see you
I would
later.
I would listen to your work.
See ya.